and thank you so much for watching. Today I'm going to show you how to make a quick change costume. I've never actually made a quick change costume before. I've only ever made transformation dresses, but I think they're kind of one and the same. They're just a little bit different. I feel like transformation dresses are usually used for like cosplay and theater, and then quick change is used for like America's Got Talent and dance recitals. So for the outer part of the dress, I'm going to be using this fabric right here. It's actually an old curtain. Well, it's not an old curtain. It's one that I got from a thrift store, but it was new and in the package. So you can kind of see like it's just a curtain. So we're gonna use that. I've already used some of it for my Barbie Rapunzel. And then I'm going to be using this, which was originally bought to make my sister a mermaid tail, but I very much overestimated and bought way more than I needed.
I also made myself a mermaid tail, but I'm very brace-faced and swollen, so you don't get to see that.
And we're going to be using this for the quick change skirt.
Alrighty everybody, here is the plan, and I know this doesn't look like a good plan, so just keep watching. The first thing I did was to lay out the purple fabric and smooth everything out. I then started measuring the fabric to figure out how much I actually had to work with. And then I was able to start cutting out the skirt. It's really quite that simple. The number one thing when cutting out the skirt is making sure that it's at least 2 inches longer than the other skirt. I cut out a waistband that was about 2 inches tall, and unfortunately I didn't have quite enough material to get around my waist, so I did have to piecemeal a bit. Next, it was time to measure and cut out the other skirt. The only criteria for this skirt is making sure that it's long enough to cover your backside and making sure that it's shorter than the other skirt. After the transformation, the pink skirt is going to be hiding under the purple skirt.
Okay, the great thing about this skirt is that I was able to use the edge of the curtain, so there's already a hem, which is fantastic. I won't even have to put a hem in.
Right now I have the skirt pinned together so you can get a good idea of how this is going to all work. The pink skirt and top will be worn with the purple one hiding inside. And then when the top is pulled down, the purple skirt will fall down and reveal itself. Now that we have our skirts cut out, let's move on to cutting out the top. I'm going to be using this tank top as my pattern because the back and the front necklines are very high. I also added a bunch of extra seam allowance on the sides and the shoulder parts.
I have my back pieces and I have my front pieces, and I have 2 of each because I want these to be fully lined. Let's see if I can get it for you. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew all along, leaving the bottom open. And then I'm going to flip this inside out like a pillowcase, and I'm going to top stitch down everything. Oh, and I'm also going to clip the curves. Do, 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 do. And the corners. Do, 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 do. Just so it flips a little easier.
I did choose to pin parts of the bodice together just to make sure that things wouldn't shift around when I was sewing. And speaking of sewing, you're going to be seeing this sewing machine a lot more because my sewing machine's not working. This is interesting because the last few weeks I've just had this feeling that something wasn't right with it. It seems to have like a little bit of a burning smell every once in a while up in the top.
Alright, I have got a front and I have got a back. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what that looks like in just a second here. Okay, so they're gonna attach at the shoulders. This part will be overlapping the back so I can easily pull them down for the transformation. Okay, there we go. So I have this nice high neckline, that way it'll cover up anything that's being worn underneath. I have a nice high neckline in the back as well. And then the front part also overlaps the back here and here. That way again, when I pull the shoulders down, this part can rip forward easily. And when doing the transformation or the reveal, I will most likely be facing forward or to the side, so it makes it look a little smoother than if you saw it like this, because then you would be like, that's strange, it's not completely sewing down. Looks kind of funny. This just makes it look more uniform. I will probably potentially iron this. I don't do that. Then I do plan on adding a little pizzazz up on here, maybe on here as well.
Actually, yeah, I do that.
So now I just need to sew the front and the back onto the skirt. You can see here that it's not all evenly lined up. I just made it a little longer and I figured I'd fix it later. This is the front side of the dress. And what will happen is this will get pulled down and it's going to fall on top of the underskirt along with the back panel. I pinned everything on, and when pinning, I made sure to overlap the front underneath the back. That way, when it's folded up, the front overlaps the back. I'm just gonna sew around this circle, attaching the front and the back onto the skirt. So what will happen is I'll pull down on this and the other skirt, the purple one, will fall out. This skirt has extra space. That way it can get on and off. Purple skirt will be sewn on this way. So the purple skirt will be inside. I'll rip this down and then the other skirt will come out.
I sewed my purple skirt together and then I attached it to the waist along with the waistband, and I sewed everything together. Once everything was machine sewn and attached together, I was able to fold down the waistband, pin it in place, and hand sew it down so that it looked nice and tidy on the inside. I did keep a small section of the waistband open so that I could attach a piece of elastic with the clothespin method. I mean safety pin method. Basically, you just use the safety pin as a feed to bunch up your elastic and kind of snake it through the waistband casing. Yes, that's exactly what it is. We need to add Velcro and then it's completely done. So the Velcro is going to go on the overlapping sides, and then the Velcro is also going to go right here. I set the dress all up, and this dress doesn't actually take that much time to set up, but I don't want to have to undo it to set it back up, and I forgot to add the crystals on, so I'm just gonna add it on while I'm here so you can watch. I'm gonna fix the angle so you can see better.